Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Doug Muker. I'm the Market Director for Outdoor Living Products, and today we're going to go over the features and benefits of our WebSource system. We're going to have an introduction to WebSource. We're going to go over the different quoting features within WebSource. There's going to be a live demonstration so you can see how the site actually works. And then at the end, with whatever time we have left, we'll get to any questions that you may have. You can see when you signed into the webinar, there's a spot where you can type in questions. So please enter all your questions there. And if we run out of time and don't get to all of the questions, they will be captured and we'll get back to you directly, or either through your territory manager or your customer service rep, but we'll get your questions answered. So make sure you submit all your questions using that question feature. So WebSource, what does WebSource have to offer for you, and why would you want to use WebSource? First of all, it's a price book for you, and it's not just a price book for you, but you can go in and create custom pricing as well and create custom books. So if you have a retail counter, you could go into WebSource, and I'll show you through the demonstration how you can go in, generate a marked up price book that you could have right on the counter and use with customers as they walk in, and not have to worry about what pricing they're seeing, because it would be your retail price book that you would create, and it would look similar to what our product catalog does. Job quoting. You can do job quoting by either, if you know the breakdown already, you can enter the material directly into WebSource and it will give you the quote for the materials you need. If you don't have a breakdown of the materials, you can go in and, using our CertainTeed estimator, put in the layout of the job, and then the estimator will break down the job into the number of sections, end post, line post, corner post, and do that for you. It allows you to save these for later. So if you do the quote and you want to save it, there's a function where you can go in and save the quote. And then if that quote does become an order, it's simple to transfer that right into an order and not have to re-enter all the information again with just clicking on a button. When you go into your account and go into your orders, you can simply convert that quote into an order. So it makes it nice and convenient for you. Order placement. This is a big thing, because you place your order through WebSource, you get an email confirmation, so you know that the order got into the system. You're not relying on hoping a fax went through or something like that. And the big thing is it eliminates the chances for any errors. And when we go into the demonstration, you'll see if you choose a color, it automatically updates all the catalog numbers to reflect that color. And when the order comes into us, it automatically transfers into our system, so there's no keying in items to where customer service rep could mistype something and then all of a sudden you're not getting what you wanted. And then with an email, you may have wanted a color, but all the numbers came over as the standard white item, and you just had the color on the bottom of the order, and the color gets missed, and then the order shows up to you as white instead of almond, let's say. So that's nice too, because it automatically updates all the catalog numbers to reflect what you actually want and adds the proper designation for any color. So it really helps eliminate errors. You're not keying in information, you're not writing information, and it's no one's confusing a 9 for a 4 or anything like that. So it's really nice, and it makes it a lot easier on your end and on our end. And then it allows you to connect to other Bufftech resources as well, whether it's past WebEds that we've held, installation trainings that we've done, installation manuals, terms and conditions. So it's your one-stop shop to get everything that you need. It's not just about placing orders or doing quotes. It also gives you the point where you can go in and find out information on other things. So WebSource. If you go to bufftech.com and you go to that site, there's a link right there for WebSource. You can see I have it highlighted. When you click on that link, it's going to bring you to the login page. At this point, if you already have a login and a username, you can just enter your username, enter your password, and log into the site. If you don't have a WebSource account, you can go to the Register Now. At this point, it's going to bring up this screen here where you're going to enter in your company information. You're going to enter in your FSP number, which is your Bufftech account number. It should start with a 1. And then down here, you're going to select Bufftech, say that you're not a robot, and then submit the request, and then it will come into us. And usually these requests get approved in about 48 hours. And then once your account is set up, you're good to go and log into it. Once you log into it, here's what your home screen is going to look like. So you've got buttons across the top. You have different options down the left-hand side. So going across the top here, you've got residential fence, and it works similar to our product catalog. So it breaks it down into traditional, classic, contemporary, semi-private, privacy, the different market or product families that we have. So here, if you go to privacy, then it's going to show you all the options you have within privacy. So here, picking the Brookline, then it's going to give you the heights available. So it's pretty self-explanatory and easy to follow. It's just a matter of making your different choices, and it narrows your options as you make those choices. So like if we went here and went to 6-foot high, or actually the 5-foot high Brookline page, this is what it's going to look like when you go into it. It's going to have the color options on the left-hand side. So this is available in white, almond, and clay. You could pick one of those colors. And like I said earlier, it's automatically going to update your catalog numbers to reflect the color that you've chosen. Then I talked about how you can make that custom book. So across the top, again, there's a tab for custom book. When you go into custom book, this allows you to do a margin markup or a discount percentage. It won't allow you to do a discount if you haven't done a markup on it, so it won't let you get below what your cost is. And the nice thing with WebSource is it's based on your customer number and your account, so all the pricing is current and reflects what your price is. So you can have your true cost on material through WebSource. And then if you want to do something where you're using it more on the retail side, you can come here and you can put a markup in it. Some customers like to do it based on a margin percentage that they like to make on the material. Others just do a straight markup. So it gives you a couple different ways to do it there. Then the other piece is the custom book. And here's where you can go in and actually create a book that's similar to the product catalog, but would be based on whatever pricing that you had set up in the system. Or you could run the book based on what your cost is as well. The quoting feature, if you look on the left-hand side, when you go down to the bottom, there's CT Fence Estimator. Once you log into that, it's going to bring up this screen here. The nice thing with this is it's a web-based program and it will work on your mobile devices. So if you have your salesmen out in the field with iPads or something along that line, they can actually use this program and quote right on site. So it helps speed up the process where you could give the customer a price while you're still there on the site. So that's a nice feature with it, and it allows you to do it in real time and not have to go back to the office and get back to somebody later. But what you would do is you would enter in your layout, and you can do multiple fence styles here. On the right-hand side of the slide, you can see fence style 1 and then fence style 2, and then the add underneath it. If you keep hitting add, it'll keep letting you add additional fence styles to it. So if you were doing a project that had one style of fence in the backyard and another style in the front yard, you can do it all at the same time just by adding another style to it. So once you do that, you're going to hit the next. It's going to bring up the style. So with this, we had 2 different styles. So we're going to have fence style 1. So again, it's going to give us a type. It's going to give us the height, the category, the style, and then color. So you make those choices. Then you get to the panels and posts, and you go in and choose your panels and your post. The one thing with the post, You have to choose a corner post even if you don't have a corner post in the layout. It's just the way the program works that if you don't choose a corner post, it doesn't let you go on to the next step. So choose all of the posts, even though you may not have a corner or a line post. And then you would choose your post caps. And with the post caps, it gives you the ability to have different caps on the different style posts, or you can see there, copy end post to line and corner post. So if all of the caps are going to be the same, you can just copy. But if someone wanted different posts on their ends or different caps on their corners, you can choose the different caps based on the post. So here you can see it gives you all the different caps that are available for the fence style. And the nice thing with the program is it limits what's available to that style, so it's not going to let you pick a cap in a color that's not available for that fence style. So it's not going to let you pick a 4-inch cap by mistake. It's only going to let you use 5-inch caps if it's a 5x5 post, and it's only going to give you the colors based on what you selected. The gate options, you can choose single gate, and that will give you the pre-assembled options, or you can use a gate kit, and then if you need the extension kit, it allows you to pick that. You have to pick your hinge post and your latch post, and if they're going to be the same as the end post, you can just copy those. You can add in post stiffeners if you're going to use post stiffeners, and then select your gate hardware as well. Once all that's done, you would hit next, and then it's going to give you this quote. And here you can, if you wanted to add in something, you forgot something, you can add a part to it. You can print this estimate, or it has the option where it will send it to WebSource. And there, if you choose that, it's going to put it right into the shopping cart in WebSource. And once we get into the demo, you'll see a little better how the shopping cart works and everything. But it'll put it right in there for you. And then at that point, if it's an order, you could just submit it as an order, or you could save it as a quote. So now we're going to get in and actually show you the site. So I would get in, I would come to my login screen, I'd enter my username, I'd enter my password. If I could type, we could have gotten in. All right. So here, once you're logged in, it brings us to that home screen. Like I said, we've got the buttons across the top here. So we've got our residential fence, and it will break it down into the different families. We've got railing. So if you had a railing project, here's all your options for railing. Our post and rail, decking, components. These are the miscellaneous pieces and parts that are in the back of the product catalog. So all your components are there. The bulk part gives you the product and pallet quantity and how much it will take up on a truckload to help you build a truckload. The custom book feature, and then the home button. So whenever you get into different things, if you need to get back to the home button, hit the home button, it'll bring you home again. Depending on the way your account is set up, there's options here for ordering literature or getting downloads of literature, samples and displays. The My Account, if you click on the My Account, you can go in here, and if you wanted to change your password or update any of your company information, you can do that and just hit Update My Account. It's going to update that for you. So if you ever want to change your password or something, you can just go in here and do it yourself. My Cart, that's going to be your cart. And the one thing, if you have multiple people using the same account or sharing an account, you may want to just make sure when you first go in, look and see if the cart is full or has anything in it. A lot of times we'll have some companies that'll have an issue or something with an order they placed, and the problem was that someone had material in the cart and never finished out, so they went in and did theirs and didn't catch the fact that there was something sitting in the cart already. So they might get a item by mistake. So just make sure you check your cart before you start a new thing to make sure there's nothing sitting in the cart. The My Orders, this is going to give you the history of all the orders you've done. So here you can see we had a quote, and then we converted that quote into an order, so it lets us know that we did that. And again, if we're going in to do this, there's these different buttons here. And right here, this lightning bolt allows us to convert a quote to an order. So it's really simple that you go through, you created the quote, now the customer calls back, it becomes an order. You can just click on that lightning bolt and it's going to make it an order for you. Or if you need to go in and do any editing or anything, you can edit it beforehand. So again, real easy to where you're not doing a lot of entry over and over again. So again, home button brings us back to the home screen. The custom book we talked about. So if I go into custom book and if I wanted to say put a markup on this book, I put in my percentage I want it to be. Hit update. So now all of my prices have been updated and marked up to 100%. So if I was to go in and look at anything in the book now, it's marked up from my cost, that percentage. So then if I wanted to, if we talked about the custom price book that you could do, so I can go here and select price book pages. If I choose all pages, it's going to give me a book just in white, so it would be similar to the product catalog, but with pricing. But say you want to do something and you want to have a counter book and you inventory Lexington, you could come down and go to the privacy section, get to New Lexington. So it may be New Lexington, we've got it in white, and we've got it 6 foot high, so I could just pick that. Or I could have the almond, white and almond, so I could do that, and I could generate a book that would just be New Lexington, white and almond. Come down here, I generate my personal book. And then it would give me a PDF version. So here it is, the PDF I just created. It's got the front cover. It tells me it was WebSource generated, just so we know where it came from. But here's my New Lexington 6 foot high in almond color. So there's everything for that. And then I've got my 6 foot high white. You can see here some of these are saying not available in white. The problem is that we're still updating for the 2019 changes, so not all of the information is in WebSource, and that's why we're getting that error. But that would be the book, and now you've got this book with the marked up prices that you could use for either your sales team when they're out in the field, or you could have it on the counter for that walk-in business. But it gives you a nice professional looking book that didn't take much time at all to generate. So a nice easy way to create that and have a counter or a sales book for you. So again, if we go back to the home button, brings us back home again. If we looked at residential fencing, say we're going to do privacy, we're going to do 6 foot high roofline with CertainTeed texture. It'll bring us up to the product page. Here's the different colors, and you can see here right now it's Arctic Blend, and all my catalog numbers are ending in the AC4. I choose Brazilian Blend, automatically change all those catalog numbers for me. So when this order comes over, it's going to have the right catalog number on it. So if I know that I need 10 sections of fence, I need 8 line posts, I need 4 end posts, I'm going to have 12 post caps, I'm going to do 1 pre-assembled gate, I'm going to have 2 of the inserts, And again, right now it's not giving me these hardware options, but that will be live once the site is updated. So I can choose the stainless steel hardware. Then if I wanted any extra stuff, if I needed extra rails or lock rings or end channel, I could choose those right here. Or I can just say, okay, add these items to a new order or quote. It's going to bring me to my shopping cart. Now at this point, if I wanted to add something else to it, if I wanted to do an arbor or something, I can come here and choose an arbor. Just add that. Now let's put that into that quote. I can go here. Everything looks good. If I wanted to, I can go in and change quantities. If I didn't like this, I can just remove everything and right at this point. Or if I'm good with how everything is, hit checkout. Now at the checkout point, it's going to bring up the order by. So this will be your company information. It will have your ship to. So if you want this to ship to a different location or something, you can add in multiple ship tos and you can keep them within your address book. So if you're going to ship to that location over and over, or if it's just a matter that your bill to address is different than the ship to address, you can just add your ship to. So that makes it nice and easy. Down here under additional information, you're going to choose either order or quote. So this one we're not sure yet, so we're going to say that it's a quote. You can put an expiration date on it if you want your quote to expire at a certain point. We require you to put in a PO number and a tag, and that just helps on our end and your end, because when you call in to check on an order, it's easier for customer service to find it instead of just having to go through all of your orders. If it's got a PO number and a tag name, it narrows it down and makes it quicker for them to find it. So once we enter that, we can do delivery type. Deliver order, I will pick up. If we had any special instructions like call ahead or anything along that line, you can type that into the notes area here. Once we go down through, again, we can look and make sure all of our items were correct that we wanted to. We have a spot here, since this is a quote, where you can put in the estimated freight amount, your estimated sales tax, and if you're doing something where it might be a residential delivery, you've got the option here where you can put in that residential delivery fee as well. If everything looks good, we're going to submit this. It's going to give me this, and this is going to get emailed to you, so you're going to get a confirmation of your quote, what it looked like. So everything looked good there. So we can close that window. Then again, if we go back to the home button, it's going to bring us back to home. Now, if that person called back and said, yep, I'm ready to go with that, we can go into my orders. Here's the quote we just did. If we wanted to, we can view the details, so we could look at it again just to double check, but we know everything's good. So we can come here and convert that. It's going to make sure that we want to do that. We're going to say okay. And now it's converted that to an order. And again, you're going to get an email confirmation of this showing that you took this quote and made it an order now. And now that you've made this an order, your customer service person is going to get notified as well, so they can be on the lookout and know this order is coming in from you. So again, it makes it nice and easy. All the part numbers are correct, spells out what the color is, quantities. And the pricing, if you have your marked up price or whatever, we're not matching the pricing from what comes over in this order to what's in the system. So even though you had this marked up, when the order goes into the system, it's at your cost, not at this marked up price. And again, if we go back to the home button, it's going to bring us back home. The new feature, well, one of the new features for this year, when you go into privacy, bear with me one second. you're now going to see Allegheny and Sherwood. Those are the new molded products that were EcoStone and Ashland. So now your molded product, formerly SimTech product, is in WebSource as well. So you can come here and you'll see your molded. And we broke it out similar to the way we do the Bufftech. So it's got the different heights. So Allegheny, 3 foot, 4 foot, 6 foot, and 8 foot tall. So if we choose that, the same thing, it's going to have our catalog number with the color. We can choose the different colors available. It's going to change the catalog number for us. So you can see here, it's going to have the schematic at the bottom of the page, similar to what we do with the extruded vinyl products. So it'll look a lot like the way the extruded products are. And we broke it out to the different pages, or different pages for different heights to make it a little easier. So you're not just going and having all of your panels on one page and all of your posts on another page. So you'll notice that even though this is 3 foot high, it lists the 102 post, which is the same post that'll be listed on the 4 foot, but you don't have to switch back and forth between pages to do that. The one thing that's going to be unique is if I come in here and if I select an Allegheny item, I add that to my order or quote. Now if I come in and try to do something in the extruded family, I'm going to get a warning here that says I have molded products on an order and you can't combine molded and extruded products. So for right now, the way the system's going to work is all of your molded items need to be on one order and all of your extruded items need to be on a separate order just because of the different warehouses, and that will keep the orders separate when they come into our system. But it will have the warning and it won't allow you to order different items from different warehouses on the same order. So it's just one thing to be aware of when you're going in and doing an order. If they want molded fence in the backyard and they want a vinyl extruded fence in the front yard, you'd have to do it as 2 separate orders. So again, here we can go, and I know that I don't want to order this, so I can go to my cart and I can remove the items out of my cart. It's going to say okay. And then if we go back again, here's your Sherwood, similar to what the Allegheny was. And again, we've got a couple items that we're still finalizing the pricing information that comes over into the system. So that's why you're getting some that are saying they're not available. But again, you can just choose your colors, automatically changes the item numbers, the catalog numbers for you. Now, if I go back home again, brings me back to my home screen. Going down the left-hand side, we've got the different WebSource resources. We've got, if you come here to WebEd, here are all the past trainings that we've done through the WebEd series. So you can come here, and here was one on SimTech installation training, new products, product changes, gate installation, social media. So anything that we've done in a WebEd in the past is here for you to go in and use again. One that comes up a lot of times that people have questions on is alternative installation slope terrain. A lot of people have questions about racking and stepping. So here's a presentation within WebSource that you could go to, and the information's right there at your fingertips. So this is a good thing to go in and check out. If you haven't looked at it before, you can go in and see different things. Like this presentation afterwards will be on here. There's a former version, an introduction to WebSource. That'll be replaced with this current one. So if you have other people at your company that want to go in and learn more about WebSource, you can just sign in to your account and the presentation's right there for you. We have our terms and conditions, how to install. So anything you have installation-wise, you've got the full Bufftech installation instructions, which for 2019 will include your molded products as well. Bufftech gate installation instructions. Here are some short installation things on rekeying D&D hardware, what you need to do to rekey the D&D hardware, racking fence, so more information on racking, router templates, curved rail. So all the different installation things that the application support team has put together are here for you as well. So not just the general installation instructions, but more in-depth installation also. For the extruded products, we have our different mounting brackets. So here's the different wall mount options that are available. Post routing installation, gate information. So a lot of resources available here for you. Our link to our digital marketing library. So if you're working on your website or a brochure and need images, you can go to the digital marketing library and get professional images. Any price book updates, this is a PDF version of the product catalog. Our CertainTeed Fence It, this is the visualizer tool where you can go in and actually show what a fence style would look like in either a backyard or a front yard. And then we have the CertainTeed Fence Estimator. So if we go into the Fence Estimator, and that original project that we did in Brookline, we knew how many sections we needed and everything. But if we just had the layout and weren't comfortable with doing the breakdown ourselves, we could put the layout in here. So let's say we've got 42 feet of fence, going to run over to the right. We've got a gate in there, and we can either choose a single or a double gate. So it's going to be a single gate. It's going to be 4 foot wide. So we hit in 4 foot, select. Then we show which way the gate's going to go. So the gate's going to keep going. Then we're going to have another 16 feet of fence, just doing a straight line with a gate in it. And then if, like I said before, if we wanted to add another fence style to it, we could just click here and add another fence style to the project. But for this, we're just going to have the straight line. It's one style. Hit our next button. So here it's going to bring us into the type. So we can either do residential or post and rail. So this is going to be residential. It's going to give our different height options that are available. This is going to be 6 foot high category. So as we go through, if we would have done 3 foot high here, you can see our categories are different. So it's limiting your choices so you can't try to quote something that's not available. So again, we're going to do 6 foot high. Our category, we're going to do privacy. Here it's going to give us our different privacy styles that are available in 6 foot high. We're going to do Brookline. It's going to bring up an image of the fence style so we can see, okay, yep, that's what I want to quote, so I'm not making a mistake and quoting the wrong thing. The different colors available. So we're going to choose the Brazilian blend. So we've made all of our choices on this. The next step is going to our panels and post. So again, here you have to go in and choose end post. We have to choose our line post. And we have to choose our corner post. And then if we wanted line post stiffeners, we could select those and it would add stiffeners for all of our line posts. Then like we talked about earlier, post caps, it's going to give me all the post caps options that are available for the Brazilian blend. So I want the New England cap, so I select that item. If I wanted to do different caps on the line or the corner post, I could go in and select different ones. Or if I want them to be the same, I can just say copy the end post. So then it fills that in for me, and I didn't have to go in and select each one of those individually. Gates, so now here with the gates, I could use a gate kit, and it would give me everything that I would need for a gate kit, so it would add in that section of fence that would be required. Or I can come in and I can choose the assembled gate. Then here, I've got to choose my hinge post, and if it's going to be the same as the end post, I can just copy, or if it was going to be a blank post or something, I can go in and actually select what the post would be, but it's going to be a routed end post, so I can just copy. My post stiffener, if I'm going to use post stiffeners, I can go in and select my post stiffener. My gate hardware, so these are all the different gate hardware options that are available for this fence style, so I can go in and select the hardware. My latch post, I have to do the same thing on the latch post, and I know fence is running out the other side, so it's going to be the same as an end post, so I can copy. I can add in the stiffener for my latch post. Now that I've gone through and completed all of that, calculate. So now it's going to give me my quantities are, and then it's also doing it at whatever I marked up my WebSource book at. So this would be the same retail price that you would be showing in WebSource. So you could use this estimate straight to the customer. You don't have to worry about going in and putting a markup or anything on it because it's pulling the information from your WebSource account. So if you had a markup in WebSource, it's showing it here in the quote that you just did. Here, if we wanted to, we could add items to it. We could just print it and send a PDF or something. Or if we don't need to do that, we don't need to get a copy to the customer, we can just hit this, send to WebSource, and it's automatically going to put it in the shopping cart for us. So here at this point, again, we could go in and make any changes, delete an item, go to another product page. So if we didn't add that arbor and we want to go and add the arbor now, we could go in, back to our arbor page, put the arbor on the order. So now that's going to put the arbor into our cart. And at this point, we can check out. Same thing here. If it's still just a quote, we can choose it as a quote, put in an expiration date, PO and a tag, delivery type. Any notes that we need to put in, again, we can put our notes in, our freight, our sales tax, delivery fee. And this one, again, we did it as a quote, so we submit it. It's going to show up in our order history. So again, later on, if we come in, we go into my orders. We look at that, and there's our new quote that we did. And if we wanted to convert this over, it again just be hitting that lightning bolt, and that would convert it to an order for us. And you can do sorts here by job or the PO number, order number, quote. So if you just wanted to look at quotes, you can do here order type, and it's just going to show you all the quotes, so you don't have to look through all the orders that may be in there as well. PO number. So any of these that are underlined allow you to do a sort by those. So ship to, order number, order date. So if you wanted to look at everything for a certain date, you can hit that and it's going to arrange everything by date for you. And again, the home button is going to bring us back to the home screen. The CertainTeed estimator, that will be updated for 2019 to include the molded product as well. So when we come into here, put in our footage, and here on this one we can add a style. So we want to do 17 feet this way. So when we come into next, when it'll be under residential, it'll be under the different heights available. You choose privacy, and then here under style, the Allegheny and Sherwood will be added to the style. And then once you pick them, it'll give you your different colors. So molded will be added into this for 2019. So here, if we want to do two different styles, residential, we can do the first one as a privacy. We can do it as Chesterfield. Here's all the different options available in Chesterfield. So again, it's going to limit it and only allow me to do what's available for that fence. With having to choose the different posts, at some point we're going to expand this to make it easier if you want to do mix and match. So you'd be able to choose different colors there. That's why you have to go in and choose the post at this point, because eventually we're going to add more features into the program that would allow you to do mix and match. So now this one, you can see here, it's a little different. It tells me next spec because I have two different fence styles on this project. I go into next spec. So now again, it's going to let me choose the type. So this, we're going to do 4 foot high. Gives us our different options available in 4 foot high. So we're going to do a traditional fence. Here again, it's going to give us the styles. So we're going to do a Danbury. And here we'll do the almond to go with our almond privacy fence that we did. And again, we're going to go in and choose our post. Our post cap. And now that we've made all the choices, now it's allowing us to do the calculate. If we pick something wrong here, we can use the back button and go back and change whatever we need to change. But everything was okay. Calculate. So here, if we're going to print this, here's what it's going to look like. It's going to give us the different material, the quantity, the part number, description, unit price, extended price, date. And then it's going to show us a job sketch as well. So you've got something here that you could print this up or send it as a PDF to the homeowner, and it gives you a nice looking quote on what the material is. Or if we don't want to do that, we can again send it to WebSource, go through the cart checkout process. If it's an order, we can just check out as an order. Or if we're going to do it as a quote again, we would just go through the entry type, quote, enter in our PO and our tag information, delivery type, and then again, submit the order. And then it's going to be in my orders for future use. And then again, back to the home screen, brings us back to home. The biggest thing with WebSource, if you haven't used it, is just getting in there and seeing exactly what's available and what features are in there. It's pretty easy to follow. It follows the layout of the price book with the different residential fences broken into the different families. Once you choose the family, you get the options available within that family. So I'm going to take a look now. I'm going to see if anyone has submitted any questions, and we can take a look at answering some of those questions. Okay, quite a few questions. So. Okay, this one I think we talked about. Is the estimator based on the marked up custom book prices, or does it revert back to cost? It's based on whatever you have your WebSource account set up. So if you went in and put a markup in WebSource, that's what's going to be reflected in your estimator. So if you wanted to do a quote as the true cost of what your cost is, you would have to just make sure when you went into WebSource that there wasn't a markup in the custom book section. And that's easy enough to convert back and forth. If you wanted to do the job takeoff at your cost, just go in, make sure it's set at 0. You can go in, run the quote, and it's going to give you the material breakdown at your cost. In our installations, we use an internal steel post instead of installing PVC into the ground. Is there options to request this type of post or fittings? If you're talking about using our easy set brackets, then yes, they would be on the WebSource page under the optional material at the bottom of the page. So if we went here and went privacy, Chesterfield 5 foot high, we'll just say. If we come down here under optional material, there's the easy set brackets, and that's where you would use the 1 7/8 steel pipe and then the easy set brackets. The post would still be the standard post length. So if you wanted to do something with a custom post or something there, you still need to work with your customer service rep. WebSource is geared mainly to supply standard material. So if you're looking for something special there, work with your TM or your customer service rep. I think this one is, can you make adjustments on quotes in the shopping cart? And yes, within the cart, if we wanted to, once we came over from the program, say we wanted to change quantities. At this point within the cart, we can go in here and change this. So if it came over from the takeoff program, you can still go in at this point and change them. So hopefully that was the question. Is there a way on WebSource to check status on orders that have been placed? Currently, no. That is one thing that we would like in the future to have WebSource do even more for you, to where after the order is placed and after it ships and everything, have tracking information within the system. But we're not at that point today. But that is something that we would like to see to make it easier for you, so you can track that order from start to finish, and it would help and alleviate some of the pressure on customer service, where during season a lot of the calls are people calling to check the status of orders. So if we could build that into WebSource, that would help, and you could just log into the system, see that your order has shipped, see what the tracking number is, and make it a lot easier for you. But yeah, currently that's not available within WebSource. Okay, when doing an estimate, how easy is it to choose an alternative style? Suppose the customer wants a price on different style, but same layout. So you could run through, and once you get to the end, let's see. So at this point, we could print the estimate. If we go all the way to WebSource, it won't work for us, but we can go back now. And we could go back to fence style 1, and here it would allow us to change the style, go back through, and again, but if we send it all the way to WebSource, we would have to start completely over. But if we just went through and printed it, it would allow us to come back and change the style based on the same layout. If the layout was to change, then you have to start completely over. How do we calculate freight? The freight, so if we go through here and we're going through, send to WebSource, what we have for freight is here we have our freight and shipping policies. So it's going to give you what the different zone charges are. So you would have to calculate that based on what the material total was. But it's right there, and it gives you the different percentages based on what zone you're in. it doesn't automatically figure the freight for you. So you'd have to do that by referring to this, which is, again, right here at the bottom of the page, so you can go in and see the freight policy. Yeah, here's one I noticed the other day. The standard nylon gate hardware is not in WebSource anymore, just the stainless. Is that going to be added back into the system? Yes, with that, we changed the catalog numbers for the hardware. We're changing the packaging on it, and it required us to change item numbers. So it's just a matter of getting the new item numbers set up and everything. But yeah, that hardware will be back. You'll notice the catalog numbers are different than last year. Everything's going to be, you're getting all the same stuff. It's just, instead of being boxed like it had been in the past, it's going to come all in a poly bag. So just a change on our end required new catalog numbers, and it's just getting everything up to date into the system. So yes, that will be back. And the old items, the pricing expired in our system, so that's why the old items aren't pricing currently. But yeah, the new items will show up and pricing will be back in there. Yeah, and this one again is freight related. Do we put a price in the estimated freight, or is it generated by WebSource? And again, there you have to go and look at the freight chart and calculate that and add that in yourself. It doesn't, WebSource does not generate it at this point. Do you have a standard US Canada conversion rate you would like us to use? That I will have to get with sales and see what rate they're using on that. We don't have a standard one set up within WebSource, but we will we'll get back to you on that question. Okay, this one, I'm not exactly sure. Is there a way to order it now somewhere on the site? I guess that one we may have to follow up offline to get a little more information. Or maybe this is the other part, or you just need to call our rep and have them add it. So I'll follow up on that one offline and just make sure we're getting the proper information back to you. Will markup apply to freight? No, because you're entering that freight number yourself. That's not going to be marked up, but I guess the issue will be if you had a markup in your book, that's not going to be the true cost when you generate it. So when you look at the cost, you're going to have to factor in the amount of markup you had on it. So you're not paying the wrong amount or figuring the wrong amount of freight based on what your estimate was, because that could vary. So your marked up number that you're using to figure it will be different. So if you look at this chart here with the different percentages, you're going to be adding that percentage to a higher price if you had your pricing marked up. So there's where you'd have to look at it and know what you had as a markup. And again, this is just kind of here an estimate to give your customer that you're quoting an idea on what freight would be. Once you place the order, then you would get the exact freight number out of our system. The nylon gate hardware, I think this again is about the fact that it's not pricing. So that will be replaced and back up to where it should be. Do you anticipate any price increases in the near future? None that I'm aware of. That would be more of the sales team related, but nothing that we have planned at this point. When you save a quote in WebSource, a PO is required. If you do not have a PO at this point and enter a temporary number, can it be changed when the quote is converted to an order? Yes, if you go in and you edit the quote beforehand, we had the test in, we can change this to whatever it needs to be, update the quote. So now if we go back into my orders, it's going to be in with the updated number, and now we can convert it to an order. So yeah, if you don't have a PO at the time you do the quote and it becomes an order and you have to go in and do it, just go in to edit the quote, change the PO, and then you can convert it into an order. Yes, the target to have the molded products on WebSource is February 1st. If we can get them up sooner than that, we're going to, but that is the target date, is February 1st, to have the molded products added and all of the updates added into WebSource. And here's what date will everything be updated in WebSource. Again, the deadline is February 1st, but if we can get things in there sooner, we're going to get them in there sooner. So that's what we're working on. There's only a few items that are still having some issues, and then we're working out on our end the logistics of having the orders split out to the different warehouses. So we just have to get that confirmed and up and running so we don't have any issues with that. But yes, the February 1st is what we're looking at for getting everything up and running and getting the 2019 version of WebSource live. And that's the end of actually the questions. So I want to thank everyone for joining us this morning. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to myself, your territory manager, your customer service rep. Anyone would be available to help you with any issues that you have with WebSource. The big thing, if you haven't gotten in and used WebSource yet, get in and play around with it. If you want to do a test order or something, just let your customer service rep know that you're in there playing with it, and use the PO and the tag name as test. That way they can look for it when it comes over and they can ignore it and not process it and have an order ship out to you. So it's a nice system. People that have started using it really find it very easy to use, and I hear from most of them when the system goes down because they're upset that they can't order through WebSource and they have to fax in an order or something. So the people that start using it really miss it when it's not available. So again, it's a nice tool for you. It makes ordering a lot easier on your end and on our end, and it helps eliminate any mistakes. With the estimator built in there, whether you know what you need or not, you can just go in, put in your layout, and it's going to break down the job for you, so you don't have to worry about getting the wrong number of sections or something like that, because vinyl is something that most of you aren't stocking. You're doing it as LTL job lot orders, so you want to make sure you're doing the right thing and getting the right material for the job, because if you have to pull off a job because you don't have enough posts or enough sections, then it's costing you time and money. So we don't want that to happen. So that's why feel free to use that estimator, and that will help eliminate any risk because it's going to give you exactly what you need for the project. And with that, again, thank you, everybody, and here's to a good 2019. Thank you.